right, hello everyone out there. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So today I'm here with you to talk about the Toni Braxton movie that aired recently, and I just want everyone's opinions on it. So I want to share my opinion on the movie. I am a big fan of biops, but nothing comes close to the Selena movie or the What's Love Got to Do with It and the Michael Jackson American movie. But nothing come close to those. But this one here was I can say it was very okay. It was well put together. But let's just go ahead and start from the beginning. The very first time that I ever heard of Toni Braxton was Unbreak My Heart. Another sad love song. That was the very first time I've ever heard Toni Braxton's voice. And from then on, I've been in love with Toni ever since, and she has like a very different like voice range. To me, she's really kind of close to Anita Baker, and I just love her body. She's a sex symbol of the '90s, and Toni. But my very favorite of the '90s was like Janet Jackson. But they're both sex symbols, and they're both amazing artists. But all right, let's just start from like the beginning from Toni. Okay, so I feel like the movie was a little bit. I feel like it had holes in it. Some stuff was like left out, and I feel like okay, so there's some things that I didn't know happened. Like when you watch a biopsy, you're supposed to see something. Like the artist is supposed to really dig deep in some things that they've never talked about before or they never mentioned before. And I found a lot of things out about Toni that I've never really knew about her. So I knew that she auditioned for LaFace Records, but when she first signed the contract, I just wish that Toni had a lawyer present instead of just signing something that sounded good to her. I wish her mother was more supportive and just signing Toni, but I knew that she was like a really a family oriented person, and she wanted all the sisters to go with her. But later on in life, Toni did, she didn't forget about them. She helped them out. She did what she could. And then when they was doing some trying to find out what Toni liked, and she was like really sheltered. I feel like they missed out a lot of church scenes, but they only had 2 hours to pack in 20 years of her life. So I wish that when they first began, I wish I knew how old she was when she first auditioned for LaFace. Anyway, so moving on with the movie. She auditioned for LaFace Records. She got in. They only wanted her. And I felt like when they were trying to find out who she was and who she wanted to sound like, I think like she was kind of all over the place. But when she was kind of sheltered, but she really didn't know. Oh, all thing I want to be was a sex symbol. And anything, because back in her day, there really wasn't like a lot of videos like how we got videos now, like on YouTube, and we see so many artists. Their artist selection was very few. There were people out who was like that was really serious, and they had their clothes on. People like who she liked was Anita Baker. But I'm glad Toni, she wanted to be the sex symbol, but it wasn't Babyface, it was the other guy, L.A. Reid. He wanted her to sell sad songs and to sell pain, and Toni wasn't feeling it. But Toni had that voice to sell the pain, and I'm so glad in the movie I found out who was writing these songs, because I felt like these songs wasn't coming from Toni, like inside of her. Like I found out that these songs was written for somebody else. They were just written, and they were just going through the demos and was just like, oh, here, this sounds good. But I'm glad like she found her. Anita had gave her breakthrough, because like she was supposed to do the soundtrack for Boomerang, and I think another sad love song had she had did the demo for Anita to say, hey, here, listen to these tracks, and we can this is what the song's supposed to sound like. And Anita was like, nah, let her do it. And I felt like Toni was a good fit for the Boomerang soundtrack. Okay, so going on from there, Toni, she found love, and I'm glad she did, but I hated her husband left when he did. Like, she was sick to her last drop, like her last breath, and her husband just kind of walked out. Like, he walks out on her. I know he worked for her for years, and even when Mint Condition wasn't doing nothing, Toni still employed, Mint Condition and gave them a job. Like, I thought he would be more appreciative that, that she was trying to help him out. But I just wanted him to be more of a husband to her. Like, she was sick. His son had autism. He had to take him to therapy. And I just feel like, I know sometimes we all get burned out, but leaving sometimes it's just not the best, the best thing to do. But, Toni said sometimes love isn't all the thing that, that can save your relationship. But I really felt bad because, he just took his stuff and just dipped. So the Unbreak My Heart song, when I had, when they were talking about Unbreak My Heart, this, the demo, and Toni was like, I'm not feeling it. But after the movie, they had like a little interview, and Toni was like really in depth, like, oh, I heard it, I didn't like it. I heard the lady who wrote Unbreak My Heart, it was really dry, like it was like a white bread and water. It was like, the lyrics were cool, but it was all flat and monotone. And Pona was like, oh, I'm not hitting it. So somebody had came in and gave her some like money notes, and it made the song worth it. But I felt like the time frame of it, I felt like it was off. But maybe I'm off because I'm really young. But some hip-hop song, like I think it was Man Enough For Me or something like that was played. I was like, wait a minute, isn't this backwards? Or I don't know. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, just leave it in the comments below. So next, moving on, she's married. The dad part, oh my god. So let me tell you, like, during the movie, they was like, oh, where's dad? Oh, he's out, at the church. He's doing convocation, he's doing this, he's doing that. Oh, his first Sunday, la la la. I'm like, no, dad at home, he doing something else. So they didn't even explain, they didn't even tell that dad had a whole nother family, and that he was raising and had a whole nother wife during this time. Like, oh, they just did like a bedroom scene. It was like, oh, your dad's been cheating, your father's cheating, I can't stand it. I'm like, Lord have mercy. But I'm so glad that Toni sued for what was rightfully hers. But sometimes going into these record deals, I see when these buyouts, people are just letting stuff fly. Like, have a lawyer present, read your contract, read the fine print, read where your money is going. But when she first got that first $1 million, I was hoping that Toni would start producing her own stuff or start doing something in her own way. But she spent it. She just did what any regular person do: buy a house, buy a car, help your family out, do this. But when she hit bankruptcy the first time, I thought that it was like really low how they wanted to sell her Grammys and all her awards. It's like me selling my degree. I'm like, no, it's only for you. It's only means something to you. But to sell your Grammys or to have someone take your Grammys from you, I think it was like really stripling. Like, someone would take it from you. Like, that's your award that you earned, you toured the world for. It was just out of line, and they did it to her twice. So when she hit bankruptcy the second time, it was hard for her husband. The husband walked out, and she was like on the she was doing the show in Las Vegas, but she had came out of her pocket and had a loan to do the show in Las Vegas. But she said in a contract somebody had left out that she was sick and she had an illness. Like, Toni was on her deathbed and they still wanted to sue. I'm like, that was like the lowest thing I could ever, like, any shark can do. You're almost dead and they still want money from you. I'm like, boy, that's like mind-boggling right there. That's just the lowest thing that anybody can ever come up with. Like, people just don't care. They want their money. So I just wish that when she got that settlement, because she got a couple million from that one, I just wish that she would have just taken it on her own to start her own label, to start her own recording, to start her own stuff, because then you wouldn't have to pay nobody. Because I think she was earning like 30 cents on her records or something. This woman has sold so many, like, millions of records, platinum, double platinum, and it's like, and you broke. So at the end of the day, I like the way the story ended because it included her sons, and it included like where she is right now with the TV show. I think like Tamar, like the character of Tamar, I think she was really good. But the person who played Tawanda, Lord, they had pigtails throughout the whole entire show. I'm like, Lord, they are playing these characters to the T. But I just didn't like the way she would look, because I think Tawanda don't look that rough in person. But the person that she had, because Tawanda was like her manager, like her secretary, whatever. But I'm telling you, boy, she had no pigtails through the whole thing. I'm like, Lord, they could at least made it one ponytail to the side or one in the back or something. But two ponytails, but that's what Tawanda is. Or they could have her hair down, but that was like the only thing. But I mean, overall, I love the movie. I just wish her husband treated her better. Like, every woman out there deserves love, and I'm glad Unbreak My Heart, because that's one of my favorite songs. I'm glad it became Toni. The TV show, I started watching the Braxtons. It's really funny. It really got in tune of, like, what the who are the Braxtons, because I didn't know the Braxtons. I didn't know Toni had sisters until the Braxton Family Values came out, and I found out that Tamar made the phone call and Toni wasn't even into it. But I knew Toni had lupus, and I knew it affected her heart. But I knew her son had autism, but he's amazing. I mean, he's awesome on the show. Overall, I loved it. I think the mom played whoever played the mom, I think she did a really good job trying to portray, Miss Braxton. She did an awesome job. And overall, I think I give about the movie like a 4 stars. And I'm glad Toni came out with the voice that she had and finally stepped up and explained to everyone what really happened. But I know everybody don't have the explanation to explain to everyone, but I think it was more for her fans and tell her what, who Toni Braxton is and what her story is. And overall, I love the story. The Pebbles, the person who played Pebbles, I just thought that person was just irritating. Like, I don't know who she was, but she rubbed me the wrong way. In that show, in that movie, the TLC movie, she rubbed me the wrong way. It was just junky. And I'm like, is Pebbles like this for real? Like, just, I don't know what to say. I can't put my hand on it right now. But I feel like all the people who signed with L.A. Reid before are like broke. And it's like, why did TLC and Toni Braxton have the same story? Tell me why. It's like, you hit all these records, you sell all these records, but you only get 10% or 10 cent or 30 cent or 20 cent per album, and you sell millions of albums. It's just mind-boggling to me. It's like, what in the world are LA and Babyface doing? They're like crooks. It's like, who's getting the most money? But the thing is, I just don't understand. But I'm glad Toni, left L.A. Reid in there. Like, she left LaFace Records, but it was just like a personal thing that she had to do. But the TLC thing, and they were signed to the same record company, I think around the same time. But what kind of BS deals, what were they doing? And just imagine how many other people they screwed over. And it's just like, wow, it's like really questioning. It's like, wow, I can't believe that these people are selling millions of records and they broke. Toni Braxton today, I'm glad that, Toni, the movie dropped off where Toni is in her present time. I tried to listen to the Love, Divorce, and I think it was called Love, Divorce, something else. Love, Divorce, Marriage. I think that's what the CD was called. And I kind of tried to listen to it, but it was okay to me. I just couldn't get into that. I guess it's where my life isn't right now. But it was okay. But for the longest, ever since I was a little kid, I thought Toni Braxton was married to Babyface. But the album cover was kind of sexy too. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, they kind of close. But also, I'm kind of glad that the movie portrayed who she is and at today's time. And I'm glad her sons was in it. They got so big, Denim and Diesel. I'm talking about them like I know them. One thing that really got me, Evelyn, the mama, when Toni had brought them on to do the first video, 7 whole nights, they did that song together. They were in the background of the video. And I'm like, Evelyn, you kept your girls locked up for a long time, and they doing this sexy video, 7 whole nights, girl. They clothes off, they half naked, skin everywhere. I'm like, I'm so surprised that Evelyn even let her kids go out like that. And then she gonna have nerve to beg for a solo. She's like, oh, all my girls gonna have a solo. And Babyface, I think it was like Babyface or L.A. Reid, it was like, I'll see you later. I got something else to attend to, okay? I was really surprised that she even let them do that. But I guess anything for $1, because Evelyn was trying to get the rest of her girls famous because Toni, made it. Why can't the rest of my girls make it? But I feel bad because their CD didn't make it. Maybe they owed them. Like, after they made the CD, I think L.A. Reid was like, where the money at? Everybody was like, sexy. And I couldn't believe, because Evelyn was like, oh, the kids was like, oh, we're so sheltered. And I'm like, wait a minute, you got famous, but now you're naked. Whatever. They were ungrateful at the end of the road because ain't nothing happened, nothing happened for the sisters, because they were the background singers for like 20 years. But shoot, my sister was famous. She want me to be a background. I want mine. I'm glad for Toni because now, like, since the bio came out, I think that her iTunes store is gonna go up. Like, her iTunes sales are gonna like rise up some more. But I didn't know that she lost a love for music, and I did not know she had an abortion either. Like, I felt shocked because, you know, she came out and actually, she didn't come out and say it, but it was like you saw it, all because of acne medicine. I mean, it was like kind of touchy, but I did not know she had an abortion. Like, it was, oh my goodness, it was just like one of those things. It was like you so shocked, you kind of silent. But I don't know, I feel like she could have got some kind of test or something done before ending her pregnancy. But and honey, let's not talk about that lip sync. I think the lip sync was like off. Like, I felt like it wasn't coming out of the girl who played Toni. And the person who played Toni Braxton, I don't think she looked dead on like her, like in the show, but I think they look like each other side by side. Because Toni posted a picture of her, you know, them together, and I don't know, I think she was probably handpicked, or that was the best they could do. But she was okay. And the person who played Babyface, oh my god, like he was like scary, like looking like him. I'm like, oh my god, is that his son? But I think someone said that he was the guy from the Have and Have Nots. Person who played like the family, I don't know who picked them out. I just feel like they could have had a little bit of selection. But the person who played Tamar, the young Tamar and the older Tamar, I think they did a pretty good job. But the rest of them girls, like Tawanda and all them other ones, they could have tried again with that one. Everyone, thank you so much. I know this is a lot of me like explaining myself in this video, but everyone have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for coming. And if you like videos more like this, let me know, because it's my first time ever doing something like this. Thank you so much. Bye. I never meant to hurt you. I never meant to break you. Say you love me again. Who do you think I am? He wasn't man enough for me. No more do-wop pop fuss.